Ambitious and motivated are words that describe you best. Then you're on the right place. This is Motivational Radio, friends, from Paris, with your host, Longi Agoha.
So I believe in the theory that you leave a child with that education and knowledge and the belief in himself, that he has to trust his capabilities, trust in himself, that he will find a way by himself. He has to find a way by himself. I'm not saying you should not help, but I'm only saying that the best you can give to him is education and that self-trust. Believe me, if you do that to any child, that child will find a way for himself.
Definitely. And I like what you said is that the parents should give their children education as well. So, because some parents, what they do, they just find a school and they put their child there and they think that the teacher will teach them everything. What they don't know is that also the home is a school for their children to get educated more. Because in school, they don't teach the children about marriage. They don't teach them about being single. They don't teach them about things about life. What they teach them is they give them knowledge that will help them with their career. Parents have a big responsibility in life to teach their children how to manage their money, how to deal with relationships, and how to deal with, life. Another thing I haven't mentioned, one of the advantages of being single is that you manage your financial investments. Mm-hmm. You choose what to spend. Before you're married, you choose what to spend on. You buy all the clothes, you buy all the cars you want and all that. But once you get married, you have to pay the bills, you have to, buy the grocery, you have to treat your wife, you have to treat your family. So before you're married, you manage your money. And this is one of the money management principles I always give people. What I say, this is what the Jewish people do. What they do from a very young age, they teach their children how to, because most Jewish men are big businessmen. Mm-hmm. Because them a principle. What they do, they give them 5 jars. And what happens is that in those 5 jars, they write on 5 words on them. In the first jar is called tithe. In the second jar is called offering. In the third jar is called savings. The fourth jar is investment. And then the last jar is spending. So if they give them £10 or just say £100 in a week, in the first jar, which is tithe, they put 10%. In the offering, they put 10%. In the savings, they put 10%. In the investment, they put 20%. And then in the spending, they put 50%. So that's what they teach them. They teach them to manage their money. And as they grow, they have saved that money for their future. So, these principles, most of the young people don't get this education. Most of the adults, they didn't get this education. But someone else, they has to say out so that they can hear it. And also, it's also their responsibility, those people out there to search for the knowledge, because you can only get what you search for. So they need to search for the knowledge.
I agree with you. For me, I believe that the greatest school is in the family. Believe me, the biggest university is in the home. Because what the child observes and sees in the home determines what he becomes. No matter the knowledge he or she gets outside, it is what you give that child in the home that will really shape his life.
That's very true, sir. That's very true. As they say, that charity begins at home.
Okay. All right.
I remember that saying.
That's it. Charity begins at home. That's where that is the bedrock. Believe me, any child that grows up in a solid family would find it difficult to go astray. You might go astray, just for a little while, but you come back again. You come back into line. All right. But if that child did not have that solid training at home, in fact, there's something we say in my place. They said, if a child is behaving badly, you know what we say? That he has no home training.
That's very true.
You see, we don't say he doesn't have school training. We say he has no home training. That means the home determines somehow what you become later in life.
That's very true, because that's where you are every day.
That's where you are every day. And the people you see around you, your parents determine a lot about your personality. Because you see them, you stay with them, you love them, you hate them. Everything into one. So they become a picture for you, and that picture is in your head forever.
But this is the other challenge, is that not everyone's home is a good environment.
That is the problem, my friend. That is the major problem.
Can destroy you.
Oh yeah, I agree with you. Because if you grow up in a home where there is fighting, quarreling every day, do you know what that is very, very difficult for the child. Very difficult. Because
so they're built up in that way now.
Yes. Somehow the child might somehow would have a tendency to repeat what he heard, what he saw, what he observed.
Yes, indeed. So that's another challenge. So they have to find an environment that will help them to be to be built up in the right way, in the positive way.
Exactly.
That will help them to be on the right path.
Wow.
And obviously, definitely, school helps you to do that, but also, the house, the home, is one of the most important places.
I think the home is the base. That is where the rock is. Every other thing you learn from outside is an addition, but the main source is the home.
Definitely.
I believe that so much. That the main source is the home. Everything you learn from school, outside, through your friends, is an application. You just have to add to what you got from your home. If the home is not good, whatever you learn from outside would affect you adversely. And if it is negative, it will be even worse.
It's all out. They just have to get knowledge, and also they have to make a decision, to be diligent and also seek for wisdom, seek for knowledge, so you can know what to do, when to do it, and how to do it.
Exactly. Wow. Mr. Martin, I don't know. I don't want to start sending you flowers, okay? This is a kind of mind-rubbing we're having.
You manage your values.
Okay.
So, you choose what's more valuable to you. So, when you're single, you have a choice to decide, am I going to spend more time on social networks? Am I going to spend more time on the phone? Am I going to spend more time planning my future, planning my life? Am I going to spend more time? You decide whether to spend more time with your friends. Are they valuable to you? Game consoles, are they valuable to you? You're working on yourself physically. Is it valuable to you? So you manage your own values. You manage what's value to you. And also you discover your value as well. Discover your value. What's your value?
Mm-hmm.
So you begin to work on yourself. So you add all things I've talked about. You work on yourself intellectually. You work on yourself spiritually and physically. You work on your friendships. You create the right friendships, and you work on your time as well. So you get all these things together and see what's valuable to you and what you need to work on, what you need to develop, what you need to consolidate. And by the time it's time for you to get married and you have all these qualities in you and you've managed all these things, then it will be great for you.
Mm-hmm.
Great for you to enjoy life and your marriage.
Wow. That is very, very thoughtful of you. That is really, I think these are, I would call this since 12 commandments. I don't know if I'm too, if it's
12 commandments of the 21st century.
Oh, okay. Yes, indeed. 12 commandments of the 21st century, my friend. Yes, this is, I think we've gone round, really hit the nail by the head, just on the head. We hit the nail on the head. We are really, exposing life's, ups and downs, the things we need to do to really manage our lives, to dominate our life, because I believe this life is supposed to be dominated. We are here to dominate it and not allow it to dominate us. So that's what I believe very, very much. And if you know how to dominate life, it becomes a play. Life becomes a game. Because we say it's a game of life.
Yeah. Yes, I'm going to say.
Yeah, go ahead. It's all right.
I was going to say, because you kept on saying dominate.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is that in the book of Genesis, God told the man to have dominion over the whole earth.
Indeed, my friend.
You see, this is the thing. All these people, all these billionaires, they've followed what the Bible principle said, is to have dominion. Exactly. What they've done, someone dominated the tree and produced a chair.
That's right.
Someone dominated a tree and made paper for us to start printing.
That's right.
Someone dominated the ground and made glasses and made oil and made all this. So, you have to find something to dominate and then create it. Don't let it dominate you. You dominate it and start creating.
Mm.
So, that's why God told us to have dominion. That's why people are dominating the ground minerals, and then they start making mobile phones. So that's a key in life, to dominate.
That's it. See, I think that's I think it's not too much to say that we need to dominate our environment. We need to dominate our space. We need to dominate whatever we're doing, because until we begin to dominate that thing we're doing, we cannot expand. We cannot expand. This podcast was brought to you by the Motivational Radio France with their host, Lonjago and Barris.